Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Royal Institute of Canada and broker of record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. The goal of Realty Coffee Talk is to create connectivity, increase awareness, and building consumer confidence in real estate and promoting good ethical practices in real estate in industry. Today's topic, we're going to talk about how effectively you can buy your dream home. There are a couple of things that we have to talk before we start the conversation. The most important thing is, right, as you know, the government of Ontario have a Ontario Housing Affordability Task Force. The report came in and they have recommended 1.5 million houses to be built in the province of Ontario in the next 10 years. Because you know that in the province of Ontario, provincial and municipal election is happening in June this year, 2022. Therefore, buying a house, affordability of a house is a big item that every Ontario's mind. Therefore, it's very, very important for them to think about how we can help them to mitigate this. So this recommendation, which was given by Jake Lawrence, who was the Chief Housing Affordability Task Force, to the minister, Mr. Clark, was that more housing density across the province of Ontario. So they are focusing on density. That means they want less and less single houses and more multiplexes and high-rise vertical. This is very important. Number two, there is a one condition that said, and exclusionary municipal rules that block or delay new housing. So this is a good step because there are some restriction in the approval process. There is a delay of housing, so they want to eliminate that. That's a good idea. Number three, depoliticalize the housing approval process. So as you know that there is a approval process when there is a site plan application in the city and they want to approve those housing. So they're trying to do is to eliminate the or at least depoliticize that one, because too much interference from people who don't have any technical background or experience. So they want to make sure it is not depoliticalized. Number fourth was prevent abuse of housing appeal system. For every small thing a citizen gets up and put an appeal on it, it goes to Ontario Municipal Board of Appeal, then it goes through the process, delays. So they want to eliminate or prevent the abuse. Abuse means unnecessarily, intentionally, someone delays the project. And the fifth one is a financial support to municipalities that build more housing. So this is very important. So they want to support those the municipalities who will be doing more housing building this. So they want to set up, the task force, they want to set up a bold targets and making new housing the planning priority. There was a recommendation 1 to 2, the urging Ontario to set up a bold goals of building 1.5 million housing units over the next 10 years. So require greater density. Obviously, I mentioned that they want density is a top priority, and they also reduce and streamline urban design rules, because there are rules they have to follow. They want to streamline that. This is why it's very, very important. And depoliticize the process and cut the red tape. Red tape is the reason where the approval process and administrative work will delay an approval. So they are saying the recommendation from 30 to 25, there was a recommendation. So fix the Ontario Land Tribunal, because there is a fix the Ontario Land Tribunal. This is one of the recommendation. So because of politicization of the planning process, many proponents looks like tribunal, a quasi-judicial body to give the go-ahead to projects that should have been approved by the municipality. So municipality, they're trying to eliminate that. So fix the Ontario Land Tribunal process so it's not being used. Now, support municipalities that commit to transforming the system. So obviously, more housing availability will have consequences, and they're going to get financial support from the province. You remember we have a mass transit system being developed in Mississauga in partnership with the Ontario government. So I think this integration of transit system is very critical for all the cities, and they want to make sure that they are more dense, and then they are able to justify the infrastructure investment in there. So there are recommendations there. So basically, they are saying in their report, the average price for a house across Ontario in 2011 was $329,000, and now in 2021 is $923,000. And over the 10 years period, average household prices have climbed 180%. And while average income have grown only 38%. This is the statistic report from the task force. You can download that. So this is very important because it's affecting the economy, public services, environment, and what is the real good approach to solve this problem. So you can go to Ontario's site and you can download this report. It's a very interesting report. And they expect that because election is coming, is everybody's mind. And this task force started in December 2021, and it's just delivered the report and on January 10, I believe. So focus is getting more home builds. That is the focus. They need to build a home. If you remember in the last episode that I talk about it, the government should not be building those subsidized or social housing. They should be providing facilities or some incentive to the builders. In this case, they are giving support to the city. Therefore, they are encouraging them to the builders to build more housing. And they're going to cut the red tape. This is why it's very zoning. There are some housing, there are zoning restriction. They want to make sure. It's estimated that 70% of land zoned for housing in Toronto is restricted to single detached home or semi-detached home. So that means they cannot build. 70% of Toronto properties are either semi or detached home, so they can create density. This is just in the report on page 10. So this is why the population density, they're citing an example. Tokyo has a 4,200 people per square kilometer. London has 1,800. New York has 1,700. And Toronto has a 450 people population density per square kilometer. So these are the very interesting report, and this is a good report to recommend this to take initiative by the Ontario government. So, and now there's a report there. The provincial policy statement 1996, 8,200, 2020, 17,000. Planning Act 1970, 17,000, 2020, 96,000. They are cut the red tape so we can build faster and reduce costs. That's what is in the report on page 15. This is very, very important. They are making some recommendation. So I just thought we'd share with you, review the cost to build, buy and rent. The cost to build is dependent on many factors: material availability, skilled labor, increased production of material that is necessary to build the homes. So government is working on that. So there will be more details coming up. They are also saying 66% of all purpose-built rental units in the city of Toronto were built between 1960 and 1979. So they're saying is not much houses rental was built, basically buying and selling. So they're saying let's focus on rental as well, because you know that there's most likely about over 400,000 new immigrants are coming this year in 2022. Therefore, we already have a shortage of housing. You have seen the report. So this is why it's the goal is to make home ownership possible for hardworking Ontarians who wants it. So we're going to talk about the steps that you have to take. So again, the Ontario government is doing now, there is a report there, is called Report of the Ontario Housing Affordability Task Force. So I recommend all of you to look through that. Now, let's go back to the real topic, how effectively buy your dream home. First of all, that comes to your mind, make sure you're ready to buy. If you are a buyer, you want to buy a property, are you mentally ready to buy it? That means you have to take some steps to make sure that you are ready to buy it. So figure out how much you can afford. That's the number one priority based on your income. You have to speak to a mortgage agent or a broker or your lender or the bank that you are dealing with to find out what is your affordability. Very simple. You go to city-pro.net, go to buying, click on the calculator, and you can calculate how you can afford based on income. Remember, it is based on the income that you have declared. If you want to buy a better home, make sure your all income is reported, is required under the Income Tax Act. Any money you earn, whether it's cash or through the employment or through your business, self-employed, declare it. When you declare it, you get T4 or T4As. It goes and you file your tax return. The CRA will give you a note of assessment. And therefore, you will know that this is the money you earn, this is the money you pay taxes on, and this is a note of assessment. They look at the net. They see if self-employed, most cases the bank wants 35%. If you are a payroll employee, they look at your T4, that's good enough, and as long as you can afford. So affordability is how much you can afford. This is why it's very important to check that. Now, second thing is that when you really want to buy, decide what you want to buy. First of all, are you looking to buy a condominium, or you want to buy a townhome? You want to buy a detached home, semi-detached home, based on your need, not what you want. Want is a wish list where everybody wants to buy certain thing in a certain way, but can you afford it? It's go back to affordability. So the important is where you want to buy it and how much you can afford. So once you have that information, that what you can afford, your real estate professional working with you will help you and help you to find the property within that budget. As you know, there's a multiple offer going on right now. So if you don't have a pre-approval, or at least you have approval from the lender, and you are putting a firm offer, you're not doing any inspection or nothing, you're risking yourself. Because particularly if you're a first-time buyer, it's very, very important. Now, find a realtor, a right realtor for you. So most important person in buying process is your real estate professional, because he has connectivity with the lenders, with the home inspectors, with the lawyers, appraisers. He or she can provide you all the connections that you need to create a team. So it's very important for you to have that connectivity, because it's very important that because real estate professional under the Real Estate Business Broker Act are licensed to practice in the province of Ontario real estate. They have spent years in education training through their brokerage, through Real Estate Council of Ontario, through the Humber College and Uriah College and other education program that is offered by various boards, including Mississauga Real Estate Board. So they spend their lifetime, and this is what they do for a living. They are professionals. They can guide you to make sure that you connect. Now, what's out there? So important thing is, are you ready to buy it? Remember, we said that how much money you have in your bank. It's a good time to buy. Where is the hottest market tips you will ever get? You call real estate professional, he give you guidelines to make sure that you are buying a property in the area that you want to buy. Once you have figured out your affordability, you already know that. And then you obviously have some deposit money, a process. And when you are going for affordability point of view, if you are trying to get a mortgage, they will look at the bank will look at GDS and TDS. GDS is a gross debt service up to 32%. That's all you can afford. If you make 100,000, your affordability is 32,000 divided by 12. That is the what mortgage should look like on a monthly basis. And you need to go out and figure that out. Or TDS is total debt service. That's about 40% or sometimes 42%. That means all student loans, car payments, property tax, everything is included. So if you have $100,000 income, your 42% of that's 42,000 divided by 12. That's all you can afford a mortgage. And mortgage relates to the purchase value and how much you put down as a buyer. So this is why it's very important for you. And obviously, when you decide where you want to buy, you're going to buy in urban, suburban, or small towns and city. This is very critical for you because you know what the prices are. We have shown on our last episode how much you can afford. And you can figure this out. The more thing you figure it out, sooner it is. And you target a property that you want to buy because you have gotten the mortgage. You already know the community work, community area, amenities, and location that you want. And you already have decided this is location best for me. When people are competing with the hot properties, you can focus on alternative property that you think will satisfy your financial needs and also your personal needs of the usage of the property, and also financially you're capable of handling it. It's not just about buying a property. You need to maintain that property for a period of time when you sign agreement of purchase and sale, and also a mortgage agreement will be a charge against the property. Now, suburban, big city, sure, the prices are generally very high, especially Toronto, now Mississauga, and Brampton is also getting up there. So you want it, because you like the restaurants, or you want to have walking distance to many other options and facilities. If you go to suburban, newer schools, the new shopping centers, bigger yard, bigger homes to wander, so many people love the suburbs. Now, you might have no choice but to think about moving to a smaller city and towns. There are many wonderful self-contained communities, and compared to the big city, you can save a bundle. That means what you cannot afford to buy in Toronto or Mississauga or Brampton, you may be able to buy in a smaller city. That's why you have seen 905 sales has outperformed 416 area sales. So this is why it's very important for you. And some people move to rural area because if you like the idea of owning a land because you can get the land, or if you're a contractor, you have trucks or pickups to park, and is maybe a few acreages you will get, is maybe a good idea. You can really enjoy a property. So it all depends on your choices. And this is the determination you have today. What do you want to buy? Next type is you want to buy a detached home, you want to buy a semi or linked home or duplex or triplex or townhouse or a condo apartment. These are the options you have based on your income. This is why it is important. Now, when we talk about to buy a condominium, most cases, the first-time buyers end up buying a condo, an upscale version of an apartment, and usually located in high-rise buildings. So when you buy a high-rise building, you also remember that there's a common element involved. And as you know that the space is issue because the unit you own is a space that you own, but there are common elements where you have a hallways, you have a recreation rooms, facilities, gym, and security area. These are all common, and you pay monthly fees. And there are fees that you have to pay when you're budgeting for that. You have to make sure that you plan it. This is very important type because affordability is issue. We have shared with you the prices. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll come back after the short break. You're watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. Good evening and welcome to Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment in Canada around the world. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I'm a fellow of Royal Institute of Canada broker record for City Pro Realty Inc. brokerage. We were talking about how to effectively buy your dream home. So once you have already got your pre-approval, you have already hired a real estate professional as a part of your team. He's guiding you through the process of buying. So we're going to talk about is whether you buying a rural property or you're buying a suburban property or in the city. When you're chosen whether you want a condominium, you're going to townhome, or you're going to buy a condominium, condo apartment, detached home, freehold, semi-detached, all that stuff. So now you have to think about, are you going to buy a resale or a new one? This is why it's very important. Resale is previously owned. What happens is when you have buy a property that is previously owned, it is an older home, but it has a character, because as a bonus, the previous owners may have already made improvements and upgrades that you can, and you get them with the house, usually for less than the cost of putting them in yourself. So that is, and also it's an established neighborhood. However, there are some may require little character, and you may require to do some improvement. Some may have a leaking problem with the roof or window leaking, or some other maintenance that's required. Maybe appliances needs to be replaced. But because they are located in a very specific area and they are well established, community services are there. You have a traffic, you have transportation. You also have a hospital close to fireplace, and all the community centers. You ignore certain things because you really want to make sure that you are, accepting that. So there's the advantage. If you buy a new one, obviously, newer houses are getting smaller and getting more expensive. During this pandemic, the price has skyrocketed because affordability is the issue, and sellers, it's a seller's market right now, because last in December, we have given you a report, we have less and less inventory in the market to sell the house and available to the buyers. We have more immigrants that are coming. We still have a shortage of property. Now the government has given a mandate through this task force to increase housing. Hope that all those recommendations they were proposed in the task force recommendation are adopted, because Ontarians want the more houses available so it can balance it out, supply and demand in the marketplace. When you buy a new house, you may have to pay levy charges. You may have to pay for the improvements. Many things that there needs to be added to a newer home. Obviously, you will get 10-year warranty because that's a part of the new home. 7 years, up to 7 years. First year, everything, and second year, some leakage, and structure for 7 years. There are advantages and there are disadvantages. You can ask your realtors. Right now, construction companies all cooperating with realtors. And it's a good idea that you choose that you will have. In my opinion, you will have a better understanding buying a resale than even the new one, because builders are using mostly future value today. So they are charging you more. And let's assume you're giving $200,000, and according to our insurance, You are in a resale through realtors. We are able to cap that deposit up to 100,000. You can give as much deposit you want, but the protection under the REBA, what we subscribe, is about 100,000 for a detached home. Similarly, Ontario Tenant Warranty Program, there is a limitation and you have to watch, but most cases, builders are asking for 5 to 20% down payment. And then they're giving you delivery 3 to 4 years. At that time, if you are in buying and selling business or you want to buy a house, you can buy from the market and you can get the appreciation. And whereas with the builder is sitting there with the builder for 3 to 5 years before they give you possession, and you are getting the future value of that property. So this is why it's very important to hire a real estate professional. He or she will calculate to see what they're offering as a new building, which covers that, and you are safe to go proceed with that. Otherwise, you are going to end up paying more money, and then that therefore is very important that you are not in trouble. This is why you want to remember that you need to have a focus. You need to have a focus what you want to buy, how much you can afford, and make sure your mortgages all arranged, all the inspection are done. And because even though we have a multiple offer situation, the seller will not accept your conditional offers. So why don't you spend the small money and get, if you like the house, go ahead and do your inspection at the same time. This is why it's very important that we focus as a real estate professional will help you focus on your needs and the feature you like to have called wants. You want to have a lot of things, but it's not going to happen in an existing home. Even new home, you have to customize things. You will not be able to get everything. You might get a higher ceiling, some newer paint and newer hardwood flooring, thing like that, granite countertop over. But if you can go to the resale homes, you will have an older home, has a bigger lots, and maybe ceiling may be in some area, may be compromised in terms of 8 feet instead of 9 or 10 feet. But facility convenience is very important, because when you are buying a dream home, you want to make sure your kids can go to a particular school. So you are restricting yourself because you want that area where your kids want to go to school. That has been a highest priority. Majority of our clients with the smaller, younger kids, they want to keep it school to the school and in the neighborhood, because they want to make sure. You have to check the zoning to make sure that zoning is there for that particular house, whether you want to buy a property, and make sure the boundaries are verified before they put an offer on it. Otherwise, if the offer is accepted, then you're going to have a challenge because the school didn't fall into the category. Now, your strategy should be to find a home within your price range that fulfills most of your needs and as many of your want as possible. Use the dream home checklist to help you decide you are looking for in a home. So you can go to our city-pro.net buying process. There is a checklist where you can see that buying a dream home checklist is already there. So this is why we already talk about a realtor. You need to have a highly trained and continually trained. In Canada, licensed realtors are members of their local real estate board, provincial association, Canadian Real Estate Association. This system of membership ensures that high level of service, that you are always treated with honesty and integrity. This is backed by Realtor, which is a trademark of Code of Ethics of Canadian Real Estate Association. Take a look at the Realtor commitment to learn more. You have to go to visit korea.ca and you learn about this. Remember that in province of Ontario, our real estate profession is regulated by the Real Estate Council of Ontario, and Real Estate Council is working as a regulator on behalf of the Ontario government. They are mandated to introduce education, registration, consumer protection, and compliance program. So you always go to reco.on.ca and learn about the buying process, selling process. Everything is there. The goal is to make sure that you are also the you are watching a Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz in Canada around the world. So now we're going to talk about is we already talked about there are three levels of realtor relationship. You have either seller, vendor, agency relationship, or you have a buyer purchase agency relationship. Okay. Now you also have a customer service. So when you are entering into a listing agreement, you sign an agreement with them to sell your property. And you also allow that relationship to cooperate with the cooperating broker. Therefore, you sign a listing agreement because if you want to use the MLS system or it's going to be exclusive, you have to look at the detail of the agreement, of listing agreement and seller listing agreement or buyer representation agreement. This is very important because each document has its own conditions. Because when you sign those commitments on behalf of a brokerage under Real Estate Business Broker Act, this is why it's very, very important for you to make sure that you are effectively using and you're putting all the conditions that you want in the agreement of purchase, the listing agreement or buyer representation agreement. Now, you can also will find that there is a dual agency relationship where if a listing agent lists a property, there are two things will happen. Number one, there could be a bidding war. That means multiple representations happening. Lots of brokers are involved, and they are cooperating brokers. Now, you also will have a multiple representation where the listing brokerage will also have the employee or contractor or realtor who are working with the brokerage are putting an offer. Sometimes you have the same person who lists the property, and they also become buyer and seller. Only thing this happens is that when there is an issue in terms of who, if there is a compensation issue in terms of your compensation, you have to disclose it. That's the obligation of the listing brokerage to make sure that you disclose it. Especially, let's assume that I list the property and I have a buyer. So I work for City Realty Inc. brokerage. I'm a seller representative. I'm a buyer representative. So therefore, I will disclose that I'm going to give a commission is reduced from 5% to 3.5%. So I will disclose this commission to all the people who are putting an offer, so they don't have get disadvantage because I may have an advantage over that. So there is a requirement to disclosure. We call, sell and buy with the same realtors. So this is why it's absolutely, especially if you're not remaining the same remaining in the community. Your realtor is already an expert on your needs, so it can save you a lot of money. I highly recommend to hire a buyer broker, get your independent advice. This is very important. Now, there is how to select. There are lots of ways to find realtors. As you drive through respective neighborhoods, jot down the name, the realtors for the sale sign, or you can go to realtor.ca and you can search everything. Right now it's all digital. Therefore, everything is accessible to you. So now there are, I give you how realtors help buyers like you. Okay, I'm going to give you an idea. So realtor will review your list of wants and needs to help you determine your price range. That's number one. Answer question about the market you're interested in and help you compare homes and neighborhoods. Use the local MLS system. We have Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, and we also have ITSO. So there are two well-known. There are more, but these are the big ones, and we have access to it depending who's member. I'm a member of Mississauga Real Estate Board, so we have a ITSO, and I'm also a member of Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, so we have TRAB. So our client have access to both, and we're buying and selling. Now, your realtor will give you access to exclusive feature of the MLS system that the public is not privy to. So we have a professional system where we are able to share information with our client when the property is coming, who is coming, any details, and we have access so we can share information to them. We are transmitting information. Private information is not shared, is only information about the property that is being sold. Okay, we preview properties to ensure you are only shown homes that meet your needs and budget. This is very important. We can't just send you hundreds of properties and it doesn't meet your budget or needs. This is very critical. Now, make appointment and walk you through the potential homes, answering all your questions. When you are hiring a real estate professional, we go through this. We book an appointment. We have detail, square footage, this lot sizes, room sizes, measurement, when house was built, what is the land transfer fee, or what is the appraised value through MPAC, what is the property taxes, confirming them for you, and also who has been owning it, how many times this property has been sold, if there are any other issues, checking with the police if there is any grow house or any other issues, many things, and claims, environmental issue. We talk to Ministry of Environment and also fire department if they have visited the house and there is any backup story. We talk to the city. So there are many information that we provide, and this is why you need to hire a real estate professional to help you to do that. Now, give up to the minute information on financing and explain your mortgage options. Real estate professional will guide you. I am a principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage. I have a license to practice mortgage. I'm president and principal broker of Canada Express Mortgage, license number 13241. Therefore, I can give you advice. We, as a real estate professional, can give you guidance, but we make a referral to the mortgage agent or broker. So you are provided access and knowledge and expert opinion from other. Ontario Regulation 580/05, clause number 8 talks about professional services by others. So lawyer, inspector, mortgage agent, or brokerage, appraiser, we all refer to them as a part of the team to have a successful and effective way of buying your property. This is why it's very important. We also help you negotiate with the seller, smooth out any potential conflict and draw up a legally binding contract. We draft agreement of purchase and sale, which is, we call them offer. This for a detached freehold, we use URIA Form 100. It is designed by Ontario Real Estate Association for our membership, and is a document which is very comprehensive, and it's all realtors use it. We have for condominium, we have condominium parcel of tied land, freehold, many other options. So we use those agreements and we put special condition in Schedule A and Schedule B. So we have to make sure that it's complete, it meets your needs, and also give you due diligence process. You have a conditional offer for financing, home inspection, environment, or any other issue. This is what we do as a real estate professional. It's very important for you. So you make sure that you are hiring a right realtor for yourself. I'm a fellow, real estate institute of Canada, and I guide you. Now, you can see what's out there. So you are checking the houses. That's why real estate professionals hunt you the house, and you can find. It used to be open houses. Nothing is happening. Everything is virtual now. This is why it's very important for you. So welcome to the wonder of MLS system, because MLS is amazing. MLS.ca is amazing, where you can find shortlist. You work with realtor through Zoom. We can show you the potential buyers properties available through our system. This is very important. So is only visit the house because of pandemic. The Ontario government is more relaxing on the businesses side, but we're still keeping social distance. We're still wearing the mask. But your realtor can help you. Use Zoom. Have a meeting with your realtor through the Zoom to see those properties via Zoom, so you can see what you can show there. And virtual tour, videos, any information you want, everything is available through the Zooms. It's and most importantly, if you are upgrading. You own a house. You need to sell your existing home. Please to try to sell your existing home first. We always said that. Right now, depending on where you want to buy, because uncertainty is there, there are bidding war going on, prices going very high. But if you need the money from the house to make sure your house is sold, and any improvement you want to do, make sure you have a home inspection done. This is important that you sell your home first if you have to sell it. Because if you don't have sold, because you need money from that, and if some reason market condition change, we're expecting a rise in the interest rate coming up. So it's a very comprehensive process that you have to go through. So you sell your current home, you know how much you can afford, and then you buy it, unless you're downsizing it. It's very, very important to talk to the realtors. He will guide you and help you what time, how long it takes, what is the value, anticipated value of your property, sell. And once you sold your property, it's easy for you to buy a property. Add a lawyer to the team. I have said that already. A good lawyer, find a good lawyer. You can talk to your realtors. He can help you. And adding a lawyer to team, I always suggest that you can always ask lawyer to be part of your team when you're drafting the condition in Schedule A or B. Please get them reviewed by your lawyer before sending an offer, particularly if you're sending a firm offer. And this will help you to understand. Make an offer. So when you make an offer, it should have a complete and comprehensive offer. And you know, there's a lot of information, agreement and agreement purchase and sale. I think we're going to talk about the next episode. Understanding the agreement of purchase and sale is very critical. It has a lot of items, because when you have a vendor, you're a buyer and seller, you have a property, legal description, you have an amount that you're offering, and then you have a deposit, you have an irrevocable time, you have an anticipated completion date. Then each party buyer signs it, seller signs it. Then you have a confirmation or acceptance, and then you have acknowledgement, and then you have a notice information, and then you have Schedule A and B. We're going to talk about that, and what is included there in the agreement is very important, comprehensive. We'll talk about in our next episode, understanding agreement of purchase and sale. So when you made the offer, if your offer is accepted, you have to go through the due diligence process if there is a condition there. If not, you give deposit, and then you are moving. Arrange a mortgage is already done, because depending on it, if you're giving firm offer, you got to have a mortgage, and before you firming it. So this is why it's very important to have your mortgage done. And also arrange a mortgage is done, and then you firm up the removal of condition. You do the removal of conditions, and there is a process. And mortgage is done. All documents are submitted to the lawyer. A lawyer will be doing a thorough review of title, insurance, and there is a charge. The lawyer has to register when the title is transferred. So they do things. One is a land transfer, and then you will have to get the lawyer to put the charge on behalf of the bank, because the bank is giving you money against the property. So there's a very extensive buying process you have to go through. It's very important. You have a home inspector. If you're not done inspection already, you need to go through the process. And a home inspector, get through the lawyer, and closing a deal. So on closing deals, there's a checklist I always recommend to make sure you continually engage with the realtor, because realtor will continue to follow up, make sure if inspection is done, financing is delivered through the mortgage agent to the lawyer, and you have also given deposit. You make sure a couple of days before closing, you will always be going to the lawyer to sign up the paper, giving the deposit, closing costs, land transfer fee. If you're a first-time home buyer, there is a rebate for $4,000 for you towards the land transfer tax for Mississauga or 905 area. But if you're in Toronto, there's a double land transfer tax, and also you also get rebate. So then you finally get the closing. The day of the closing, normally we are keeping it now closing on the last day of keeping the keys, one set of keys in the lock box, where you're giving you the lock key through the lawyer, who has a special code. And once you take over the key and you move in, you arrange all transportation, everything, you are moved in and you are happy what you got. Again, planning. You have to plan, strategize. You know, you got a financing, what you can afford, type of housing, where you want to buy. Affordability is very big place. Make sure you have a deposit money collected. If you borrow money from your parents as a gift, if it's a gift, you have to have a statement. If not, if it's a borrow money, it will be used toward your liability. So it's very, very important, very comprehensive. We cannot cover everything at the show, but you can call me 905-785-9923 or my direct number 416-451-3489. I am broker of record for City Pro Realty and fellow Real Estate Union of Canada. I'd be more than happy and delighted to help you understand the process. You can also watch all episodes by visiting realtycoffeetalk.com and subscribe my YouTube channel. And there are hundreds of episodes already. You are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment. For advertising, please contact us 416-786-9809. Again, for advertisement, please contact us at 416-786-9809 or email info@awazent.com. Please tell them that you are watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz Entertainment, and there's a special promo that I negotiated with Miss Jameen, who she is the owner of our TV show. Please tell them that you are watching Realty Coffee Talk, you're a subscriber to Realty Coffee Talk. She will give you a special discount, $500. You can advertise 10 times a day for 30 days. Only $500. You provide the video for 30 seconds on Awaz Entertainment. My name is Tahir Qureshi. I look forward to see you on next Thursday at 7 p.m. Every Thursday, you're watching Realty Coffee Talk on Awaz. May God bless you all. May God bless Canada. Thank you and bye for now.